Hello, today I thought I'd make a little video on how I learn Korean because I started learning with a friend, I think on the 6th of January, so for about half a year, just over half a year. And it's going well so far and I'm really enjoying it. And I just thought I'd include some tips and show you what I do to learn Korean. This will probably be a pretty basic guide, but if you want more information in the future, I can do more in-depth videos. But in this video, I will just go over what I use to learn Korean, so the material, the books, flashcards that I make and taking notes in this video. So when I started learning Korean, I had the PDF of this book and my friend had the book, and we basically just started from here. So this is the Korean Made Simple Go Billy Korean, Billy Go, Beginner's Guide to Learning the Korean Language book. It's like this. I got mine off of Amazon. I think you can get it off Amazon or eBay. So when it starts, you have all of this. You can pause if you want to read this. So before you learn anything, you need to learn Hangul, which is the Korean alphabet. So yeah, definitely learn that before you go into learning words and phrases and stuff. So Hangul will consist of consonants and vowels, so a and gu. So I'd say definitely learn Hangul first and then move on to the more harder things further on, how to write and how to put them in boxes and stuff, because when you write Korean it all goes into a box. The way I learnt Hangul is mainly in this book, and also there's this website called Drawchat, and I'm learning with a friend, so it's funner and a lot easier, but we gave each other a letter and we'd sound it out on the Drawchat or write it down so we could test each other, so that was a really nice way of learning it. Also, just writing it down and keep revising it is really helpful. So definitely make sure you've gone through the basics of the Korean language and Hangul before you move on to conversational topics. So also for the conversations, I think me and my friend up to conversation 7 maybe. So they start off pretty basic, and a good way of grasping how to pronounce Korean and how to write and read Korean, we took it step by step and took one conversation. For example, conversation 1 just says 안녕하세요, 안녕하세요, 안녕히 가세요, 안녕히 계세요. So it's basically just hello, hello, goodbye, goodbye. But yeah, I'm not here to teach Korean, but yeah, this is goodbye if someone's leaving, and this is goodbye if you're staying and someone else is leaving. So we'd go over this and speak it to each other and practice writing it down and spelling it, and then we'd go further into the chapters. And then for conversation 2, we do the same, and so on. And then when you get more into it, there's practices. I do highly recommend this book. And then more vocab heavy conversations. And then you'll get new vocabulary. And I'll move on to how I learn the vocabulary now. This is basically how I learn the vocabulary. To be honest, this is probably the best way, but I also do a lot of other things other than just flashcards. But I've marked them for each section like I showed you in the book. So this little one here is just basic, this one here is just basic sentences like good night, and then we also put formal and polite because you learn formal first. How are you? Hello. Common foods, easy phrases. We didn't actually learn these from the book, but we wanted to know more, so definitely flashcards is a good way to learn. These are the ones that we're learning on right now. They're a lot of verbs, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, basically just for the flashcards, I'd recommend getting blank cards, or you can just use like paper, card paper. I did get these blank cards from Amazon and they're pretty cheap, so for like dentist, just put the English word, and then it's pretty self-explanatory, but the Korean word on the back. Please only do this if you know Hangul and how to like pronounce all the words, because we actually spent a lot of months just going over Hangul and learning that. So yeah, it's definitely worth it for when you're learning new vocabulary, because it'll be a lot easier to sound it out and say it and learn it. So yeah, dentist, chigwa. So yeah, I have a lot of flashcards. Also, when you're finished with a section, I wouldn't completely ditch it. So like, where's the really old ones? Maybe in here. Yeah, like dance. This was literally in like the first flashcards that we learned, but we still go over it all the time. So you want to keep going over it. Now we've decided to go like over them all once a month, like at the end of the month, because there's so many of them. But we do go over the new ones quite a lot. And when you first write them down and write the Korean on the back, go over them verbally. Like, it is really nice to learn with a friend, and that's how I'm learning. But if you don't have a friend, then you can just like do it in your head and do it yourself. I've done that a few times as well when I can't study with my friend. But yeah, do the basic vocab, move on to the more extensive vocab, but still go back to the old stuff because you don't want to forget it. Also, when I was learning, I thought, oh, like, why am I going to need these random words? But like, don't skip them. Like, it's really good to have loads of vocabulary. And I basically know all of these now, hopefully. I mean, these ones are new, but yeah, this is all the vocab I've learned in about just over half a year. I mean, it's not all the vocab because there's words obviously I've picked up from K-pop, K-dramas, movies, other YouTube videos and stuff. But yeah, this is the stuff from the book mainly. Also, don't only rely on flashcards. Like, if you just want to learn really slowly, then I guess you can. But if you want to go in more depth, then keeping a notebook is obviously really good. Sorry about it. My one, it's kind of messy. But yeah, like, I started the 6th of January 2020. So yeah, I just jotted down like the really basic things from the book, like the Korean language, the English language, how Korean language is subject, object, verb, and English is subject, verb, object. I ball kicked, I kicked ball. And then these are more just basic notes from the book. So we've got the nida form and what is Hangul, intro, and then basic consonants and vowels. Also stuff like how to write Hangul. I wouldn't skip it. Like, when I was first learning this, I admit I was like, what the heck, like, I'm not gonna need this. But yeah, you do. Learn how to write Hangul properly because it will help you in the future. And then yeah, this is all just like sounding out like words when I was first getting into it. How to write it in blocks. Basically just follow the book, and also I have a lot of other materials that I use that I'll obviously link in the description and probably on the screen right now, that you can go to and also learn from. As an English speaker, and I only speak English, like I speak a tiny bit of German, like I can't even say that to be honest, but yeah, fully English speaker, native English speaker. This helped me, but also it kind of didn't. And obviously this is what helped me to learn it, and it won't necessarily help you, but yeah, this is just how I did it. But the sounds are kind of hard to get the hang of, especially the vowels at the start. So I would like put in brackets what it sounded like to me as an English speaker. It takes a while to get used to, but also Duolingo is really good for stuff like this. I don't know if I was doing Duolingo at this point. Maybe I took it up a little bit later. But yeah, Duolingo will give you all of like the sounds and it will say them back to you. So instead of writing like, yes, the sounds like throwing up, and it sounds like Changbin from Stray Kids. Maybe try Duolingo instead. So yeah, I would just do all the sounds first, And then we learn like the alphabet and how to write it with other vowels. And also make sure you know the single consonants, double consonants, and strong consonants, because that will really help as well. They're kind of confusing. So definitely take the time to learn that. And then look, this is like vocab, but we were barely even learning vocab. Diphthongs. More just alphabet stuff. Like obviously this isn't even like, you probably know about romanization if you're watching this video, but definitely don't try and learn Korean from romanization, because you won't know the sound change rules. Like if you want more in-depth stuff about sound change rules, then I can do another little video. But again, I'm not a teacher, so but yeah, here, like, also as an English person, I just wrote what it sounded like. So this here is cha, this here is e, n, g, but obviously it'd only be like ga or g with a vowel next to it because it's a consonant, but you get what I mean. So yeah, I would just keep a book and work from the book and videos. Also, Korean Uni is a good person on YouTube to look at for learning Korean. Also, Go Billy, the book that I have, he also does YouTube videos and he has a Discord. So yeah, this is the sound change rules. So yeah, just keep a good book of stuff. At the back here, you can see I got a little bit better at writing and stuff. And then we'd do vocab revision, so like a little test. So we'd be learning the vocab from flashcards, but then obviously if we know the word, we want to also be able to spell it, because it's just like, obviously you're going to need to know how to spell a word. So then we'd do this, and I always get like one vowel wrong, it's really annoying. But this was a while ago, so hopefully I know all these now. But yeah, we would just do that at the end of every like section. See, like here I got them all right. And then this was like more vocab. This is the book that I'm working in at the moment. This still is quite a while ago because I'm like over here now. But this is where I was actually learning sentences and sentence structure. So what I'd recommend, just like from me learning it casually while I'm at home, I haven't got like a teacher or tutor, or I'm not a teacher myself. Start with good source material, then learn all of the basics, like how to pronounce the Hangul alphabet, how to use vowels and consonants, how to put them together and how to sound them out and how to spell them, diphthongs and sound change rules. But the sound change rules, like, I'm still learning, so don't worry about them too much. And then when you've done all the basics, go on to flashcards, or any other like way that helps you like revise stuff. Also use Duolingo along the side, that really helps. Also studying with a friend is really nice. Also there's an app called HelloTalk, which you can use to talk to like native Korean speakers, and there's like a translation feature, and yeah, that's really cool because there's Korean people trying to learn English or wherever you're from, and then there's obviously English people trying to learn Korean, or vice versa, wherever country you're from, there'll always be someone trying to learn your language. So yeah, you can teach them English and they can teach you Korean, and you can like call, you can just message, anything. It's really good. Also there's a big long YouTube video, I think it's like 6 hours long, which has a lot of good material for sounding out Korean words. I'll put that in the description. Just do like multiple things and be like speaking it all the time, because it took me quite a while to grasp how to say Korean. Like I still get the j confused with the g, because yeah, I'm not really sure why, but but yeah. And then go on to sentence structure and sentences and saying like normal things like 안녕하세요, you know. So yeah, I'll just quickly flip through this again. Another little feature that is quite nice is to have a cute little like notebook, and then I just put in all neatly like the vocab that I know. I haven't actually updated it recently though, so yeah, I know like a whole other section after this one. But yeah, it's nice to go back to and like keep a track of what you know in like a aesthetically pleasing way instead of just like a sketchbook notebook thing. I just thought I'd put a little clip in here of me showing Duolingo because it's really good and I use it like nearly every day. So get started. I want to learn Korean. Why are you learning? It can be anything. So for me it's just and then you can pick a goal. It can be anything, that's recommended. And then it will start giving you the lessons. So yeah, it's really easy. You can click here. Let me turn up the volume in case you can't hear it. And yeah, it's really easy. It's just that. And then you finish the level and it will give you some XP. And you can also get streaks, so it makes you want to revise more. And then this is what it looks like on Duolingo. So I just did this lesson here and it will start like with the really basic vowels as you just saw. And then, yeah, it will go all the way down, alphabet basics, more basics, verbs, and then like to really like expert stuff, seasons, pronouns, future tense, hobbies, like it's got loads and loads and loads on here and it's completely free. So yeah, I think I'm down to here right now, verbs, on my main account. But yeah, so that's a really good tool. If you want to just do a quick lesson, like even one a day, it will help you remember the sounds and how to speak Korean. Because you need to be engaging in the language daily to keep all the information in your head. So yeah, even just saying the vowels every day will really help you to grasp how to speak Korean. Also, sorry if the screen's a bit shaky because I'm just holding it up, but this is the Drawchat I was talking about. It's just draw.chat and then it's like a virtual classroom. So this is what me and my friend do. As you can see, we have so many pages, but this is where we started on the 6th of January, I think. And then yeah, we just went over like really basic stuff at the start and then got into more vocab and how to write it. This was even a fun game that we played to learn as well. So if you're learning with a friend, you don't have to make it all just like really academic. So this was Nongu because basketball players are normally tall, and then this was Belu. And as you can see, I spelled it wrong, so learning while we're playing a fun game because this was a ladybug. And then just more vocab, and we'd test each other. More guessing games. And then more sentences. So this was like, I go, I play, and like verbs and stuff. And then this is where we're at right now. We're actually on page 25, but this is the first one. And then we'll do more stuff like this. So this was my friend giving me sentences and then I write what it is underneath. And then this was me giving my friend sentences and she'd write it underneath. And then we'd test each other. So this is just all from stuff that we've learned together, like the vocab and the sentences and the structure that we've learned together. So we both know technically what it is. It's more for just like a refresh and to spelling, like for the spelling. So